last week. Um, I want to confirm something. Have you been receiving?
Please start a passing of football service. Sempre vai sem zona de tempo. Bom, let's see my quinta.
Hello, sir. Oh.
Yes, sorry about that. I got disconnected by mistake. I was saying, did have you received your mid-semester exams this week, or is it next week that you have been getting them?
I haven't get any yet, sir.
You haven't gotten any as yet.
No, sir.
I think for you two, we have only had but the Rogers test, denominational doctrine.
Only brother Rogers test you have gotten so far.
Yes, sir. And as usual, we always have tests with Brother Buckland every week.
Yeah.
So
every week you have a test?
Yes, with Brother Buckland.
And Brother Buckland teaches a lesson. Just give us a little test to see if we understand. Not really a big test.
Okay. All right. Well, next week I want to give another assignment, right? But I'm trying to make sure I give you at the right time, because I heard another staff member talking about mid-semester exams around this time. But I don't want to put anything on you too suddenly. I was trying to make up my mind whether I was thinking about giving a mid-semester exam or giving an assignment, right? So I would want to give an assignment, but I think based on the regulations from the school, I think the mid-semester, well, the final exam must be an exam. I'm not 100% sure with the mid-semester. Yes,
multiple teachers give me homework for final exam before, so I don't know.
Final exam.
Yeah.
Okay.
Even last trimester, I got around 3 homeworks for
final exam. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, sorry, I think I'll do, right? Just to be on the safe side, I'll give you, are you all hearing me? Hello?
Yes, sir. I'm hearing you now.
Okay, hear me. Can you hear me?
Yes, I'm hearing you, sir.
Okay, all right. Because I'm only seeing Nicholas. I'm not seeing Solin or Israel.
Oh, it seems like their computer jumped out.
Okay. Well, what I was thinking, Nicholas,
Yes,
was the is to actually give you the mid semester, but give it in 2 weeks, right? There won't be anything too hard, right?
yeah,
But given 2 weeks time, right?
yeah, definitely.
It won't be anything too hard. It will take the form of what we have been doing in class since this term, and it won't be too long, right? Maybe about 3 questions the most, right? And you can do it during the class time, right?
Okay, sir.
Which is about an hour, right? So I and my class is the last class for the day, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I would give a mid semester back on. Okay. Hi, Solon, brothers.
Yes, Brother Bal.
Yes, I was just talking to Brother Golden. I think to be on the safe side, I would give a mid semester, but I would give you in 2 weeks' time, right? Give you enough time to refresh yourself, right? And they'll be given in 2 weeks. It won't be anything too much. It'll just be about 3 questions, right? And it'll just be about three
Um,
questions, right?
sir, are you
Yes.
talking about an assignment or a monthly test?
No, it'll be a mid semester, so you can do it during your class time. Um, in fact, since I'm the last class for the day, you can be given another 20 minutes to complete it if necessary, since it's the last class for the day. So it will be during class time, not next week, but the following week, God's willing. And it won't be more than 3 questions. And you you'll be
Brother
allowed
Bal.
to use your notes for the exam, right?
Oh, okay, sir.
Yes, sorry. You'll be allowed to use your notes
Sir, you are breaking
for
up.
You're
the
breaking up, sir.
exam.
You're breaking up, sir.
Okay? So you won't have access to your notes for the midterm. Access to your notes, not the internet, but to your notes. So you can look at
Sir,
your
you are
notes
not,
for the mid semester. Oh, what you said?
you are not hearing. You are breaking up.
I'm breaking up. All right. No, I was saying for the mid semester you can use your notes in the exam for the mid semester, but
Okay.
not the internet, but your notes, right? So you
Yes,
can
yes,
if you have to access the internet for your notes, fine, but not the internet to look up the questions, but your notes, you can use your notes during the exam.
all right.
I'm not sure if you hear me though.
Yes, sir.
Okay, but
Yes,
Solly,
sir.
you can hear
Yeah.
me?
Yes, I'm hearing you now.
All right. Okay. All right. So I will give you that not next week, but the following week. All right. And it'll be based on what we've been doing so far. It won't be hard. that hard, and especially when you have your notes, it definitely shouldn't be much of a problem. But any questions you have, make sure to ask them before you get the exam. Something in that understanding, I can go through it with you. All right, let's continue now. All right. We had done this one here, number 12B was the last one we did, right? I think I'd realized something for the question that was requested, right? The answer for number 12B should have been in index format where possible, right? In index format. The answer that we got, all right, let me go through this again. Somebody said something?
Yes, sir.
Remember, yes, go ahead.
At the last class, so remember I was at the last class, so highlight me on what this, all this one is done.
Okay. All right. So you weren't at the last class. All right, let me start with this one first, right? We did this was the second to last question we did, but because it involves zero, let me just show you something here. All right, the way I did this, right? It can be done two ways, right? I did it this way, right? Where you have, that's in question 11D from the handout, 8 square, all in brackets, to the 0 power.
Yes, sir.
Now, 8 square is 8 times 8. All right, 8 times itself 2 times, and 8 times 8 is 64.
Oh.
When you get the 64 now, 64. Oh, sorry, what you said?
Oh, I said 64 to the 0 power.
To the 0 power, right, is 1. Now, Nicholas, any number to the power of 0 is 1.
Okay.
Right? No matter what the number is. If the number is a million, once it's to the 0 power is 1. If the number is negative a billion, it's still, what is to the 0, it's 1, no matter what the number is. So the 64 to the 0 is equal 1. All right, I just wanted to highlight that, right? Because we don't normally do it like this with a 0 power. All right, so the last question we did, and this is another way of doing it, whereby we say 8 square, and instead of multiplying 8 by itself 2 times to get the 64, instead, and this is called the index form, doing it in power form or index form, whereby we leave it in its powers. So what we do here is when you have a power in a bracket, which is a 8 square, the square is a power, 8 to the 2 is a power in brackets. Once that's in a bracket, and you have a power outside the bracket, what you can do is multiply the power in the bracket by the power outside the bracket. Let me say that again. If you have 8 to the 2 power or square, 8 to the 2 power in a bracket, and you have a power outside the bracket, you can multiply the power, which is a 2, in the bracket by the power outside the bracket, which is a 0. So that is why I put here 8 square or 8 to the 2nd power, and then I put 2 times 0. If you see that there, that star or asterisk, it means times. So it's 2 times 0. And anything times 0 is 0. So 2 times 0 gives you 0. So we're left with 8 to the 0 power. 8 to the 0 power is the answer in index form. And what I mean by index form, and what they mean by index form, is power in the form of, is a answer that shows the power. So when they ask you to answer a question in index form, like the rest of questions we're going to do, it means to leave your answer as a power, right? So 8 to the 0 is the answer. But at the same time, I'm just letting you know that 8 to the 0, not 8 times 0, no, 8 to the 0 power is the same thing as 1.
Yes.
So 8 to the 0 is the answer. 1 is also a answer. Either one of them you can write because it's a index form where possible. So 8 to the 0 is index form, 1 is normal form. So both are the answer, right? Okay,
Yes.
now as I was saying, this was a question that we did I'm sorry. This was the question we did last week, right? Now, this, how I did it, I should have actually given it in index form. I left it in the normal form, getting an answer of 1, but it should have been in the index form, which is those powers. I'm going to go through it the way how I did it so that you can see there's not much of a difference, right?
Yes.
So 7 to the 4 divided by 7 to the 4. Anything divided by itself is 1, right? I'm just letting you know that anything divided by itself, the answer is 1. So 12 divided by 12 is 1. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 3 to the 2 power divided by 3 to the 2 power is 1. 4 to the 5th power divided by 4 to the 5th power is 1, right? But I went ahead and expanded this. So watch what I did here. So it's 7 divided by 7 to the 4 divided by 7 to the 4. So I put 7 to the 4 as the numerator, 7 to the 4 as a denominator. That's 7 4 power over 7 to the 4th power. And then we know that 7 to the 4 is 7 times itself 4 times. So I write out 7 times 7 times 7 times 7 on the top, and at the bottom 7 times 7 times 7 times 7, right?
Yes.
And then now I multiply the first 2 7s, that's 7 times 7, that gives you 49 here, 49. And I bring down the 2 7s down here, right? And I'll go through this quickly, right? Same thing at the bottom, 7 times 7 gives you 49, and I bring down the 2 7s, right?
Yes, sir.
Then now we're going to multiply the 49 times 7, right? And we get, sorry, gives you 343, right? This 49 times 7 here gives you 343, right? And we'll bring down the 7 again. And then 343 times 7 give you 2,401, right? Which we get here. So you have 2,401 over 2,401. And 2,401 divided by 2,401 gives you 1. So 1 over 1 equals 1. So 1 is the answer. That is one way of doing it. That is the normal way of doing it. But they ask you for the index form. This is not the index form. This is, well, this is doing it one way, which is, it's nothing wrong with the way how I did it, but they ask for the index form. So let me show you the index form step by step, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, so same question again. 7 to the 4 divided by 7 to the 4, which is 7 to the 4 over 7 to the 4. Now, what I'm going to do now is we're going to operate in the index form, right? Meaning that as we work it out, we leave it in its respective powers, right? Now, I must let you know that whenever you're dividing a number by the same number, you subtract its powers, right? You subtract its powers. So whenever you're dividing a number which is the same by the same number, you subtract its powers, right? Hold on just a second here. All right. So when dividing numbers that are the same, you subtract their respective powers, right? So let me show you how that looks like. All right. So what I mean by that is this. We're going to put back the same number. If you notice, the number on top is 7, the number at the bottom is 7. So the number is the same. So whenever you're dividing a number that has the same number, the powers might be different, you know, but the number, the 7 is the same, you subtract the powers. So here we go. 7 to the 4, right? That's what we have there. And we're going to subtract the 4. So we have this 4 here, right here, subtracted 4 at the underneath the line, the bottom, right here, right? So we're going to have 4 minus 4. And we know 4 minus 4 is 0, right? So we end up with 0. The answer that we end up with is 7 to the 0. Because the 4 minus 4 gives you 0, and we put that back beside the 7, which leaves 7 to the 0. But remember, any number to the 0 is what, Golden?
1.
1. Right. But because I asked for the answer in index form, we're going to leave it as 7 to the 0. Right? 7 to the 0. That's the answer. Because once it's an index form, we just leave it with the power. So we leave it as 7 to the 0 as the answer. So this is the answer in index form. All right. So let's move on now. All right. So we have a similar thing here. Number 12C, 9 to the 4 divided by 9 to the 5. And as I said, when dividing numbers that are the same, we subtract their respective powers. So we're going to have 9 to the 4 divided by 9 to the 5. 9 to the 4 over 9 to the 5. So here we have 9 to the 4. I'm going to have 4 minus 5 equal negative 1. That is 4 minus 5 equal negative 1. Remember, let me just go through this again, right? When you're subtracting, all right, let me. All right, let me use the whiteboard. All right, so when you're subtracting, right? Whenever you're subtracting a number, like say 4 minus 2. All right, I don't like that color. Hold on. All right. 4 minus 2 is equal to 2, right? But guess what now? What if you have 2 minus 4? You're going to actually put back the same. So when you're subtracting numbers, when you're subtracting a large number from a small number, the rule is that you subtract the small number from the large number and put back the sign of the large number. So 2 is smaller than 4, but we're saying 2 minus 4, but 4 is bigger than 2. So how we do this? The rule is that when you're subtracting a number that is bigger than the number you're subtracting from, that is the 4 is bigger than the 2, how you approach it is that you subtract the smaller number, which is the 2, from the bigger number, which is the 4, and put back the sign of the bigger number. So we're going to, even though it's 2 minus 4, we're going to say 4 minus 2 is 2. And then we put back the sign of the 4, the negative 4, which is bigger. So whenever you're subtracting a number that is larger than the number you're subtracting from, the rule is that you subtract the smaller number from the larger number and put back the sign, the negative sign of the larger number. So we're going to have 2 minus 4 equal negative 2, right? Let me do it a different way. If I have 3 minus 4
minus 1.
That means the number 4 is bigger than the number 3. So the rule is that if the number you're subtracting is bigger than the number you're subtracting from, that is the 4 is bigger than the 3, what you do is give you 1 and put the sign of the larger number, which is a 4. So you put by the sign, which is negative. So the answer is negative 1. If I have 3, if I have 3 minus 7 from the large number than 7, so 7 minus 3 is 4. And then we put back the sign of the 7 because the 7 is larger than the 3. So we put back the sign of the 7. So the answer is negative 4. That's the answer. All right. Okay. All right. That will come. Okay. So what we have here is, yes.
Yeah, I would like to write off.
Oh, you want to write that down? Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, the one that you just came off. Not the one.
This one. No, the one before.
Yeah. No, this one.
Okay. Right. So this one here, as you notice, as you write down, as you notice, we're gonna have 9 to the 4 minus 9 to the 4 from the 4, right? 4 minus 5. Now, the smaller number is 4, right? So what we do, the rule says we subtract the smaller number. Whenever you're subtracting a number that's larger than the number that you're right? All we do is say 5 minus 4, that gives you 1, and put by the sign of the 5, which is negative 1. So the answer we get is 9 to the negative 1, right? We're not fully finished as yet, but the answer we get is 9 to the negative 1, right? You can write that down. In the meanwhile, I'll send you the notes for this class and last week class. Sorry, I had forgotten to send the notes last week, but God's willing, I'll send it before the weekend. Today's notes and last week's notes.
All right, sir.
Yes.
So this now is the index form.
Yes, this is the index form, but even though it's an index form, we can write it a different way even though it's an index form. So we're gonna move, I'm gonna show you something after you write out. When you finish writing off this, I'm gonna show you something else, right?
Okay.
Another way you can write it.
Okay, move along when ready, sir.
All right, great. All right, so basically, that if you left the answer like that, nothing will be wrong, right? Because it's in index form. However, this index form, whenever you have, I said this to the class before, whenever you have a number with a negative power, that means that the number must become a denominator. You can leave it like this and still get the right answer, you know. But the number means that you should turn it into a fraction, meaning that this 9 to the negative 1, you can write it as 1 over 9 to the positive 1, right? So you're going to have 1 over 9 to the 1. Now that is also index form. So both of them are index form. 9 to the negative 1 and 1 over 9 to the positive 1. Both of those are index form.
Okay.
Right?
Sir,
Yeah.
you do it say 9 to the negative 1, then it say 9 over 91.
Oh,
You
not
just
91. 9. Sorry. This is 9. No, not 91. Let me write this better.
oh yeah, true. Yes, 9 to yes, sir.
Right. 9 to the positive 1. So it's not 91, right? So this is correct. This is correct. Both are index form. This at the bottom. This at the bottom is just to show you how it would look normally, right? But this is not the index form. This is just to show you. In fact, let me just delete it. These two are the answers. If you're in the exam, you write 9 to the negative 1, that is correct. And if in the exam you wrote 1 over 9 to the 1, that is also correct. As long as you show the power, right? As long as you show the power, it's not a problem. Okay? All right. So we're going to continue to the next question. Once you're through writing off.
I have that.
Oh, you're finished?
Yes, sir. I have it.
All right. All right. All right. Okay. This one now. And this one is 12C. Let me double check something. Yeah, 12D. All right. Okay, so for this one now, I'm at 12D. 5 to the 2 power times 5 to the 4 power times 5 to the 3 power, right? And so for this question, we say when multiplying numbers that are the same, we add their respective powers, right? So the numbers are the same, 5, 5, 5, right? So all we're going to do is put one of the 5, just write 1, 5, and add the powers. And Golden, tell me what the powers are.
The powers are 2, 4, and 3, sir.
Right. So we add them. So 2 plus 4 plus 3 give you 9. So the answer is 5 to the 9th power, or 5 to the 9, right? Power. Okay. So that's the answer.
Yes.
Right?
So all right on this, sir.
Right. And this is index form again.
This is index form?
Yes.
Okay.
What? Yes, it's index form.
Okay, let me write it down.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
All right. So the next question now is number 30. And the next set of questions we must answer in index form, right? All right. So it says 2 times 3 times 5 times 2 times 2 times 3 times 5 times 5. All right. Now the first thing we're going to do is group the numbers. Put all the numbers that are the same beside each other. So we're going to have all the 2's together, all the 3's together, all the 5's together. So we have 1, 2, 3 2's. So we'll say 2 times 2 times 2 times, and then we have, how much 3's we have there, Israel? That's 2 3's, right? So we're gonna have 3 times 3, and then we have 3 5's, right? So we're gonna have 5 times 5 times 5, right? All right. Now, what I'm going to put all of them in brackets. All numbers that are the same in brackets to make it simpler. So you're gonna have 2 times 2 times 2 in brackets, times in brackets, 3 times 3 times in brackets, 5 times 5 times 5, right? Now remember what I told you. Any number that is by itself, just normal number, and you don't say a power to it, it is assumed that it has a power of 1.
Yes, sir.
Beside it, in mathematics, it means that there's an invisible 1. So that's why I wrote the 1 beside them, right? Just to show you how we do this, right? Left that out. All right. So we're gonna have 2 to the 1 times 2 to the 1 times 2 to the 1 in brackets times 3 to the 1 times 3 to the 1 in brackets times 5 to the 1 times 5 to the 1 times 5 to the 1 in brackets, right? So when you have that now, remember that when multiplying numbers that are the same, we add the respective powers, right? So for the 2's, we have 3 1's because we have 2 to the 1, 2 to the 1 to the 1. So there are 3 1's for the 2's, right? So we're gonna have 2, 1 plus 1 plus 1, which is 3, right? That is for the 2's. For the 3's, we have 2 3's. Each of them have 1 power. So we're going to have 3, 1 plus 1, which is 2, equal 2. And for the 5's, we have 3 5's. Each of them have 1 power. So we're going to add those 1 powers. So we're going to have 5, 1 plus 1 plus 1, which is 3. So we end up with 2 to the 3 times 3 to the 2 times 5 to the 3 as the answer. All right. So that's the answer in index form. What I said?
Yes, I understand.
In index. Remember, if I don't ask for it in index form, you should really multiply it out. So what you would have done if I didn't say in index form, you'd have used a calculator and said 2 times 2 times 2 at the top, which gives you 8. And then 3 times 3 is 9, and 5 times 5 times 5 is 125, and then you multiply everything together, and then you'd get this big number. But it didn't say that. It said put in index form. So whenever you put in index form, the answer should show a power. At the end, you should get an answer showing powers. And it should be most of the times, if not all the times, that the numbers that you get in the answer are part of the original question. Meaning that if you notice, I know you're writing down this, hold on. If you notice at the top here, the original question had 2's, 3's, and 5's. And the answer here have 2, 3, and 5. So normally when you're doing it in index form, not all the time perhaps, but you should get back the numbers that were part of the original numbers, which is 2, 3, and 5 in this case. So that's the answer there. So write that down. Well, them down. Remember now, so when you multiply numbers that are the same, you add the powers. When you divide in numbers that are the same, you subtract the powers, right?
Yes, sir. I'm not sure how we should call it, if it is coefficient or if we should say base. Like the base, if it is the same number, we can just addition the powers.
Right. Yes, you can say base. That is perfectly fine and correct. The base number, once the base number are the same, you add the powers.
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes, that's good.
Go back to the top one, sir, and see.
Yeah.
Can continue, sir.
All right. Okay, so number 14, a similar thing we have here, right? This is very similar. All right, 2 times 3 times 2 times 5 times 3 times 2 times 5, right? So we're going to group the numbers again, all the 2's together, all the 3's together, all the 5's together. So we're going to have 2 times 2 times 2 times 3 times 3 times 5 times 5, right? And put them in brackets again. And then we show the numbers again with their powers, the invisible one, we show the 1, right? And so let me just say this again, that we group the numbers, right? And we proceed, right?
Yes, brother.
All right. So when multiplying numbers that are the same, we add their respective powers. So for the 2's, remember we have 3 1s, so we add those 3 1s. So 2, 1 plus 1 plus 1 give you 3. For the 3's, we have 3 1s, 2 1s. So we add the 2 1s, which is 1 plus 1, which is 2. And then for the 5's, we add the 1s, which gives you 2. So again, we have the answer 2 to the 3, 3 to the 2, and 5 to the 2 as the answer, right? This is just a little bit different than the first one, but this is similar. But these when you work out this way, you don't take a long time to do the question, but you have to remember to add the powers or subtract the powers properly to get the right answer. But as I told you, if you show the steps and you make a mistake along the way, you still get marks. But try to add the powers properly so you can get your full marks.
Yes, sir.
All right. Oh, are you finished? All right, finish writing it off and then we continue.
Finish, Brother Nicholas?
Yes, yes.
Okay, you finished? Okay. All right, so let you finish off this and then
Okay, so you can go on, sir.
all right, good. Let's try to do this now. Number yeah. All right. So we have another question here, but this looks almost like number 15. All right, let's do it. 2 times 3 times 5 times 2 times 2 times 3 times 5 times 5. We don't have a lot of time, so I'll send you these notes, but let me just go through this. Group all the 2s and the 3s and the 5s, right? And put them in brackets. And as I said, it has an invisible 1. And we're going to add the powers. So we add the powers and we end up with 2 to the 3 times 3 to the 2 times 5 to the 2. I'm going to send you this, so don't worry about, you can go through it when I send it to you, but let's try to cover some more. All right, our time is up. Our time is up. All right, so we start at number 16, and I will try to send you this by latest tonight. All right, now, since I've told you about the mid-semester, just go over the notes that I sent to you and that I've sent to you already, and just prepare yourself. Any questions, you can call me or WhatsApp me, email me, let me know. All right. So thank you, and all the best.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
My God, where I run for the line, hiding behind the boldness, safe man of hideout. I sing to God, the praise Lord. Find myself singing. Hangman's noose was tied at my throat. Devil waters rushed over me. Hell's rope cinched me tight. Death traps barred at every exit. Hostile world. But I call to God. I cry to God to help me. From his palace, he hears my call. My cry brings right into his presence. I find an audience. See, he caught me and reached all the way from sky to sea. He pulled me out of that ocean of hate, that enemy of chaos. The void in which I was drowning, they hit me when I was down, but God stood by me. He stood me up on a wide wheel. I stood there saved, surprised, and love. God made my life complete, but I placed all the pieces before him. When I got my act together, he gave me a fresh start. Now I'm alert to God's peace. I don't take God for granted. Every day I refuse ways and words. I try not to miss anything. Feel put back in heaven. And I'm watching myself. God wrote the text of my life. When I open the book of my heart to him. Suddenly, God felt like my life. Blaze before me, God's word. I smashed the band to the marauders. I broke the highest fences. What a God. His walk stretches straight as every God direction. It flows them. Everyone who runs to eyes open wide, and I know that when you speak, you'll grow back for my every know my everything. Speak, and my eyes will obey. Words that you speak into my heart today. Open wide, and I know that when you speak, you'll grow back for my everything. Yeah, I know you meet my every hallelujah. Words that you speak into my heart today. Eyes open wide, and I know that when you speak, you'll grow right for my everything. I know you meet my every need. Come on, say it. Yes, words that you speak into my heart today. And I know that when you speak, you'll grow back for so we dance and sing. Yeah, we get to
50% with your home internet, no deposit, no contract, and a predictable mobile bill. Get winning performance that saves. Visit discoverflow.com or your nearest Flow store to sign up today. Conditions apply.
details of the news on Radio Jamaica 94 FM and online at Radio Jamaica 94.